Morning, everybody. Welcome to the November 22nd, 2022 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you are with us, and for those watching online, we're also glad you're with us this morning. We will begin, as we always do, with an invocation, and the Honorable Reverend Eric Coy from First Presbyterian Church is with us. Please stand.
Let us pray together. Holy and loving Father, we just give you thanks for this time of the year where we can pause and reflect about your hand in all of our lives and in this community as well. Thank you for the magistrates who serve over the past 4 years so faithfully, and we pray for them, and we pray that your blessing upon them as they continue on with a different journey in their life. And Lord, we pray for the newly elected fiscal court. Help them be able to work together for the well-being of this county. We thank you for your abundant resources of your provision in this county so that this county can be best served. So help us always to be good stewards of everything that you give to us. Thank you for each and every magistrate here and the judge executive. Bless their families in the time that they will soon gather around tables to celebrate your goodness to us. Thank you for your blessings. We thank you for all those who work in the county, who work so tirelessly for us. Watch over them, protect them, and bless them. And Lord, we lift up the business before you today, and may your hand be seen in everything that happens in this meeting today, for we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate McCollum.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Moran.
Here.
Magistrate Putman.
Here. Ladies and gentlemen, you have before you the minutes of the November 8th, 2022 meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any other additions, corrections, or clarifications? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have with us today our monthly Judges Scholar, Anna Chappelle from Cairo Elementary School. Very glad to see you and your whole family here. I'll ask Anna to join me up right in front of this podium. Move this so the paparazzi can see you clearly. Proclamation in your honor.
Are you ready, Anna? Okay. Whereas Anna Chappelle has been chosen by Cairo Elementary School to be the recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and where Anna's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success, and whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement, and whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Anna's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant because students, such as Anna Chappelle, will be our future leaders. Now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim today, November 22nd, 2022, as Anna Chappelle Day in Henderson County.
Now, can I get family members and school representatives?
It's together this time.
Yeah, pretty big.
Her mom is her
Yeah,
principal.
yeah. Grandparents.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? All right, how are you doing?
Good to see you. Much gray hair.
She was telling me she did that. That was I didn't until he sent that reminder. I messed that one up. She's
Congratulations, and
Anna, you need to smile.
they're trying to get candid shots there. And you can tell your grandparents know how government works because they left for the rest of this. Oh, gotcha. Well, congratulations. And now we'll get to the rest of the agenda, and we'll begin by calling up Airport Director Alan Bennett to brief us on another airport terminal grant opportunity.
We have been blessed. Steve, did you have a problem with the draft at all?
No, I reviewed it and it's approved as to form and legality.
Good deal. I am asking for something relatively simple, which is to authorize the judge to sign on behalf of the county a $219,000 grant from the federal government for the purpose of putting a standing seam roof on the terminal. We've got some state matching money. If there is going to be an amount of local contribution, the airport will take care of that. I really feel like most all of this will be covered with federal and state funds. So I'm not asking for any money, just we need to be in position when the electronic grant comes out that you guys are duly authorized to sign that.
I've gone over the contract. I'd make a motion to approve that. We always like free money.
I understand.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, and the estimate is it'll be 95%, 5% matching, 5% matching with the state covering that match. So that's our expectation.
And that includes the authorization for you to sign any necessary papers.
So, any other questions? We do have a resolution.
Thanks, guys.
Resolution authorizing acceptance of a grant in the amount of $219,988 from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration for airport development on the terminal building roof, and authorizing County Judge Executive to execute all necessary documents on behalf of Henderson County. Whereas the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration offers grants for the assistance of local airports, and whereas the Henderson City County Airport Board is submitting an application seeking grant funds to be used for airport development, specifically on the terminal building roof, and whereas the airport manager recommends applying for the grant and accepting the grant award if successful, and authorizing the county judge executive to execute all necessary documents on behalf of Henderson County. Now therefore be it resolved and ordered by the Fiscal Court, County of Henderson, as follows: that the recommendation of the airport manager is approved, and if the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration awards the aforementioned grant in the amount of $219,988, it is hereby accepted, and the county judge executive is authorized and directed to execute any necessary documents on behalf of Henderson County to submit the grant and to accept the grant if successful.
I would renew my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You don't have to leave.
He knows how this goes too. The Surface Mine Committee met this morning with Mr. Mike Mundy, and the surety company and representatives of the former mine company are asking for the release of 50% of some current bonds, and the Surface Committee is recommending that we accept that request. And Mike, if you want to come to the podium and add anything to that you'd like.
First, would I just ask if anyone has any more questions about what we discussed or any other of the topics?
And, explain as the bond holding company works to slowly but surely do as much mitigation work as they can. They ask for some of these bond requirements to be released. And,
Yes.
They have done a lot of work, and they continue to do a lot of work. And during the meeting, we also inquired about, as quickly as possible, fixing some of the intersections that are still to be done out in the county. And we have word just a few moments ago that they will move forward with that as soon as possible, which is good news. And any other questions of mine?
Mike, just to make the record complete for anybody that has any questions about it, these increments are permitted by both the state and the county.
That is correct, yes.
And they've already been released by the state?
Yes.
Or partially released?
The Phase 1 release, which is for the state, is a 60%, approximately 60% release based on all backfilling, grading, topsoil replacement, and initial seeding being completed. The main, what we call the heavy lifting reclamation work has been completed and approved.
Thank you. Just want to make it clear that that hurdle had already been done,
And,
the state side.
The county engineer and Bill Hubiak, former county engineer and now member of the Surface Mine Committee, were present for at least one of the two inspections of the sites, and they are familiar with the sites. And they have also agreed that everything has been done according to all specifications.
Nick, anything you want to add to that?
From our initial inspection, we went out there and saw the site visits. We recommend go ahead and release the 50% bonds for all these permits, and that what they've done out there so far has been adequate. We're getting seating established, and as far as the intersections there on the roads out in District 1, I'll work with Mike and start working on getting those corrected. And, do what kind of legwork I need to get done with the contractors to make that happen as soon as possible. Hopefully we get done this year before in the paving season.
I appreciate that, Nick. I've had people complaining about that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they don't understand that it was permitted and that we couldn't do anything, so that.
Yeah, I know it's a hard pill to swallow when, like, hey, we can't because under the coal mines and,
Right.
like we haven't pulled coal there for a long time, as I understand that, but it's a permit deal. And if we work on it, we own it. It's kind of how things work. So now we've got the authority we'll go ahead and I'll work with him, or we'll start getting it done and see if we can get this expedited for the end of the year.
And the key is that we're going to get done not on our taxpayers' dime, but on the.
Yes, on the permits with the coal company.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other questions?
With that being 50% released, it's still, the road fixing will still be covered under the bonds that we're not releasing, correct?
Not yet.
Yeah. The road, the road is going to be paid for through the company that's still got it under hold. It's
Okay.
it's not going to be with any taxpayers' money. It's going to be done with to the coal mine with the money they have available in their assets. This release right here is just for the properties that we went and inspected.
That we've already
yes,
done?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I understood it.
So you have a recommendation from the Surface Mine Committee.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and Godspeed, Mike. Keep working on it. I have a couple appointments. One is my appointment. I'm going to be reappointing John Coombs to the Human Rights Commission. He's done a good job. His 3-year term's up. Another 3-year term. I believe he's will continue to do a good job, and he's been an asset to that commission. Any questions about that?
Do we need to approve it?
It's a judge's appointment,
Okay.
but I wanted to see if anybody has any objection.
No.
Next is a fiscal court appointment. This is to the Cooperative Extension Board. We have 2 spots coming up. One is a seat occupied by Heather Fade, who I'm going to recommend be reappointed. She's one of the 4-H directors, one of the primary 4-H volunteers, and she's done an excellent job on the board. There's another seat, Leanne Scott has to rotate off, and Amy Cates, owner of Cates Farms, and very active in the farmers market, is my recommendation to replace Leanne Scott. So we have those two appointments, Heather Fade for another term and Amy Cates.
Make a motion to approve those two appointments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And with that, I'll call Nick Stallings back up to talk about a request for a temporary hire.
All right, we have a, man, that's weird. We have a 100-hour, and we have 100-hour employees. What they do, they're part-time. They usually come in, 3 times throughout the year to kind of give, excess help with the parks, with our pothole patching crew, with our roads, that kind of thing. So we have an opening now again, and with y'all approval, I'd like to bring in Keith Cumbus. He has been with the department. He comes in as a 100-day employee. He's done that now for the past 2 or 3 years. As mowing season ends, he usually comes in, helps with our pothole patching crew. He helps with parks, odds and ends we got throughout the winter. He's a good asset. He works well. Everybody likes him. So I would like to get you all's approval to bring him in for his 100-day employment. It's part-time, no benefits, just 100 days of consecutive work, and then by that time, he's back into his other position.
And it's a budgeted item.
Yeah,
Yes, he's budgeted, yes.
And he's worked really well.
Yes, he's been there. He's been there 2 or 3 years. He's coming back again. Everybody enjoys him. He does real good work. He's a good asset. So it's a win-win for the county.
I'd make
I
a
make a
motion.
motion we
Second.
hire him.
Yeah, can you, for the record, tell us the rate of pay?
It's 12 an hour. Yep.
So we still have a motion and a second, correct? Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nick, I'll let you remain up there to talk about our upcoming bid requests.
Okay. Looking to get bid requests to start the year out with our rock, our pipe, and then our we'll do our uniforms again. We'd like to try to go out for bids for those for uniforms.
And fuel?
And then also we need to add we need to get our bids again for fuel for this year. So we got a standard that we always use for the bid packages. Just got to get y'all's approval to set those out and put them out in the motion for them to start bidding on those. So that way we'll hopefully get them all done by this starting of the new fiscal year. New fiscal
calendar.
court. Yeah, new fiscal court for calendar year.
I was at the conference last week, yeah, and they had a vendor there that they put these gas caps on cars, and then when you put the nozzle in the gas to fill the vehicle up, it documents what truck, what car, the number, how many times, and it puts it into a database to where you can keep track of who's burning, how much gas. It's a really neat thing. And I'm thinking we could put it on our sheriff's cars and start buying our fuel in bulk. And that way we could track how much fuel is to the road department, the sheriff's. It'd be easy. It was a quick deal. They put it on, it plugs in, it's done. And I think there's a huge cost savings of buying fuel in bulk like that, and instead of buying it from
The only thing is, they would have to have access to the road department after hours, and that it might be an issue.
Well,
That's
see,
simple.
yeah, we got set of pump keys, pump locks that we shut the pumps off, so we don't have any kind of vandalism, after hours. which they would have to gain access and then gain access to the pumps, gain access to the turn in, turn off. During normal working hours, be no problem. I see it be a savings, but it 3 o'clock in the morning may be an issue, 4 o'clock in the morning may be an issue for a run that they don't have. The EMA still comes by. They get their fuel from there, so does the codes, a lot, the detention center, but typically they'll come by during working hours. There may be a couple instances that Kenny and Jill may be out during the weekend and need to get pumped, and they'll go to the gas station and to get reimbursed. But while we're open, I mean, we're definitely, we keep up with everybody's, when they come in, they give us the amount of fuel used. We've got our price, whatever our price is, averaged out. It's what left in the tank as our prices change when they come in and get filled up. We keep up with that. We've got, lady at the office that does all that, so we're able to backtrack who uses what. Both the road department, parks, recycle, and EMA and codes, and everybody does. But that would be the only issue, is getting access to getting the pumps after hours.
It was just, I don't know, I just looked at what they had. I've got the card. When we can look into it, I'll get with you on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's a good idea. And,
I mean, it's
you
just-
may have an exception, if they can fill up before the end of the day, that's fine. I know there's always exceptions to everything. They got a credit card.
Right.
They can do what they have to do, and then document it. But I think in the big scheme of things, if we do the majority of it in the bulk, I think we're going to be better off.
Yeah, the only thing I ask is that we, budget-wise, as we watch where we're at as far as fuel, because what we budgeted was our use, road, parks, recycle,
Absolutely.
EMA, and the judicial center, the detention center, that kind of thing. So if we put the sheriff's on us, we're going to blow the budget. Now, I understand for the whole county as a whole, it'd be cheaper, so we may have to do some moving, before the end of the
Just
fiscal
do some
year.
accounting, changing.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Right,
no
but
problem.
this thing that I'm talking about putting on the vehicles will separate all that out, so we'd know that what's coming out of your.
Oh, absolutely, but I'm saying, we paid out of our fuel bill when they show up.
Right,
They
to get
come in and they
delivered.
bring in 10,000 gallons.
Understand.
It come- so it comes out of our line item, and then it's always back checked somebody else.
Yeah, the sheriff's department has a fuel line item.
Absolutely,
Right.
so as long, that's all I was saying.
And we can reimburse we do a transfer from theirs to
Perfect.
yours once they calculate how much was used out of that. That's not a big deal.
No, it's
I
awesome.
think.
Why don't we do
Awesome.
this, Tim, meet with Nick and maybe flesh this out and see if it is logistically viable, and then come back with a report.
Got it.
I can do that. I get.
And is the area under video?
Yes.
Okay, and so that's stored, so we're
Yes.
in good shape
Yes.
there. Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Yep.
Nick does have a request to put all these things out to bid. Entertain a motion to allow him to do that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go out for bid for fuel, uniform, and then materials related to rocks. And then you're going to, asphalt will be at a later date. You'll come back to us.
Yes, I'm gonna talk with you all and do a little work on asphalt. May try to get a time frame in, so we're not like this year, we're at the end of the season. We try to get a time frame in, we give them idea of where they're paving at, where they're going, give them a destination so they know how to maybe get better prices on bidding actual roads than just somewhere in the county. So that way we can actually say, hey, these roads, and even break that by district, District 1, District 2, District 3, so that way we can get some real good lockdown prices, and they don't have a couple, question marks, when we're gonna pave, how much we're gonna pave, and where we're gonna pave. The three big question marks with asphalt companies is how much labor I have, how much time I have on the road, and what time of season, and now with this, we're actually gonna lay it down and say, hey, from these months you're paving, this area you're going to, this road you're going to, so they can lay it out and have better all about prices.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Nick.
Awesome.
Also ask permission to bid, our custodial services contract is coming up, our HVAC annual maintenance contract is coming up, and elevator services contract for the courthouse and the judicial center are coming up, and need to go do go bid those out, so we're going to get a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next is animal control reports, and Kendra Strongman.
Morning.
Good morning.
I don't have a whole lot. I know Stacy was here last month. I'm sorry for my absence. We are waiting on insurance quotes still for our new operations manager. I've been in contact with her pretty heavily. Field and Main is working on them. I do know that, Ms. Jones over there. So we should have that done by the end of December is my goal for her to start January 1st if everything works out. I think she's going to be a great asset. She's been around for a very long time. So. Also, we have a new animal control officer. I have not sworn him in yet. I plan on doing that maybe next month once he's done with all of his training. Him and John are both going to youth training in Davis County. I got one set up for the state in Davis County over at Davis County Animal Control, so that's huge. It'll save us a lot of money in sending them to Chicago and housing them and all those things. We had a lot of calls this month, not so many strays, but they're working very hard to make sure that everybody is keeping their animals up, and which is good. And it seems to be working well. The audit is almost done. I got an update on that this morning, so you should have that by I would say probably the second week of December. They're waiting on one thing for the audit, but other than that, I don't have a whole lot. Anybody have anything for me?
Did I miss something? I just said, did we do anything with the executive director position yet? Did y'all-
That's what we were just talking about.
Is that okay.
Well, so we have someone that we have potentially hired, but she needs insurance, family insurance.
Sure.
So we're quoting that out. We've already gotten a quote from Kentucky Connect. Field and Main Insurance is also quoting that out, Miss Jones is, but she's in the middle of open enrollment, so it's a little hectic for her right now. And so, yes, we, if we can get the insurance worked out, we have.
It's a go.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
She's accepted the position. We're just waiting on that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. And we've offered to add that into her salary. Like, we would pay that. She would pay it out of her, check, but we would put that in her salary. So, since we only have one employee, it doesn't really make sense to do a whole shelter full of insurance, so.
Any other questions about the report?
No.
I will note that, Ms. Strawn, you just received an award, some
Yes.
recognition. I believe Volunteer of the Year, Henderson Chamber of Commerce recently recognized female leaders in our community in various functions, and Strong was recognized as Volunteer of the Year that evening, and I'm sure it's related to all your work at the Humane Society.
Yes.
I know it's been a interesting couple years.
Correct.
And you have stepped up and, helped lead the charge without pay, without, any kind of compensation that I know of, and we appreciate that.
Well,
And
thank you.
Hopefully
Yes.
that won't need to be the case soon. You can get some help, but
Yes.
I would say that award was absolutely well-deserved. So.
Well, thank you. Yes, it was a big surprise.
Congratulations. I think it deserves a round.
Thank you. Yes. Lindsay surprised me. She tried to trick me. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next, Jailer Eddie Vaught with Detention Center report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Not a lot to report. November 3rd, we received our second inspection, which is an unannounced inspection from the state. We got those results back on the 15th. We got 2 gigs, one for slightly overcrowding, which we get that every time. And the second one was for a piece of one of the windows in the 500 ISOs was cracked. We received that letter on the 15th. By the time we got that letter, that window had already been replaced. And the letter of corrective action, we have 30 days to send that in, was mailed in on the 18th. So that's the only 2 gigs we got. Everything else, we've got a great command staff that keep the jail inspection ready at all times. So announced or unannounced, it stays ready. So I commend the staff on that.
Thank the staff for us.
Will
Yes,
do.
please.
Will do. I sure will. They did a great job. They did a great job. Also, every shift now is in double digits. We haven't seen that in 2 years.
By double digits, you mean personnel?
Personnel.
Yeah.
So everybody's been able to breathe a little bit of sigh of relief with that. You know, the deputies are actually getting 2 days off in a row for the most part. Now they're complaining because all their overtime's gone. So it's a double-edged sword, huh?
That's a
We
good
need
problem
time to breathe. We get time to breathe. Where's all of our money?
Jailer Vaughn, can you describe, it's great to hear this improvement in the amount of people you're hiring and keeping. To what would you ascribe that progress?
Well, I mean, we've just been, I tell you, being able to recruit people has just been a blessing. We're not doing anything different than what we have been doing. People are actually showing up to interviews and actually accepting positions. Their background checks are actually free and clear. We still have a turnover. You know, we still have that. We've had a couple, we had one guy we hired and he didn't even come to shift and he quit. I can't explain that. He never even made it to the shift. But I've been telling everybody, you know, give it 30 days. Give it 30 days. And that's what they've been doing. We've been doing a lot of hands-on with the people in the shifts, the shift lieutenants and sergeants. I've brought back the position of corporals, which works as kind of like FTOs, field training officers, which means that those deputies work with the people that are some of your best people on shift.
So there have been some alterations in.
Yes, I've made a couple little alterations, yes.
And another thing you mentioned in a previous conversation is you're getting these people in and hired a little bit quicker.
Quicker, yes.
Yeah. Before they have a chance to change their mind.
Exactly.
Good.
I may be wrong, but I think you have been working with these people too, and I applaud you for that. I think that's really important, that these people feel like they have some standing at the jail. You know, that they've got a position and that you appreciate them, that they appreciate you, and so forth. But you know, previously we had a long-term employee who asked for a day off, got granted the day off. Then they called him back, and he was there to take care of a child, so his wife could go to the doctor, and they ordered him to come back. He said, I can't, I've got this child to take care of. And when he came back to work, they moved him to thirds, sort of as punishment. That stuff's got to stop.
All right, I think I agree with you on that. If I'm not aware of that specific situation.
Right.
But I will look into it.
No, it's history.
Oh, it was history, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing new. It's not anything on
Right,
your
things
shift
like
at
that
all.
have probably happened in the past, and I'm sure of.
yeah.
But we are being very attentive to our deputies. You know, deputies make the wheels go. But we've always been taught that. You know, deputies make the gears turn, and we've always tried to practice. You know, family first. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I'm a firm believer in one team, one fight, and that not only within the jail but across over to you guys too.
Yeah, and I meant that as a positive. You've
Oh,
done
yes, sir, I understand.
fantastic. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it takes a village. It really does. Inside the jail and out. It really does.
It's a tough job.
To get these people over the fear hump and to get them doing the right things of what they're doing, and to know it takes a lot of experience, and I think we're giving that to them. Like again, we've just been very blessed with the people that we've gotten lately. We're retaining more than we're losing, and that hasn't happened in a while.
In a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jailer. Any other questions of Jailer Vaughn? Thank you very much.
I want to thank all y'all again for your support and during my time doing this. It's been short. I appreciate it. Everybody's offered their hand and always told me, every one of you has told me, is there anything you can do? And I appreciate that. And I hope that this continues to work together as it should. And if there's anything else that we can do for you ever, let us know. And let's keep it growing.
Absolutely.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jailer.
Eddie, thank you.
Next, County Clerk Renee Sapper. Is she here?
No, Renisa is unable to be here, and her assistant clerks down there are tied up today, but they did bring me up their report. You guys all have a copy of the report, and more importantly, they brought me the check of excess fees for $107,538.37.
Make a motion to accept the report and the check.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've got several checks today. Told you last time we were awaiting some reimbursements from the state, and we got some of those in. Some of these, we were able to get 100% reimbursement from the state for some of our child support employees. That was a good thing. That system where we had implemented a few years ago, where there was a federal match reimbursement, it's been a really positive development. So we've got one check from the state reimbursement, $16,073.25. A dental and life insurance check, $310.53. Health insurance, $2,937 and $5,881. An AFLAC reimbursement, $181.02. Flow through from the city, $458.33. Interest in the amount of $7.57 and $22.69, bringing today's total to $25,871.39. And the fiscal year total to date, $62,487.27. And Anna tells me she hasn't held almost $26,000 before, so I'm going to ask her to pass that to the judge. So just like when you're grown up, you get it and you've got to give it out. Good job.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Farmer, before you leave, did you want to, during Good of the County, talk to us about a proposal you have? Okay, well, then we'll do it during Good of the County. Thank you. We'll do it during Good of the County. Come on back when you're done. Treasurer Brenda Ryder, please.
The transfers are as presented, and these are redistributing appropriations within the existing budget.
Everybody get a copy of the transfers?
Make a motion to approve the transfers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and both of these transfers are for VFD expenses that we approved. So, any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Your bank balances after paying claims today, you have received those, and your day-to-day appropriation lines should be at approximately 41%. I do have additional claims from the general fund to Magistrate Berry in the amount of $1,000.30. This is for reimbursement for training expense, which does include rooms for 2 magistrates. This is to come from the Fiscal Court Conferences Trainings Appropriation line. To Dell Technologies in the amount of $5,382.31. This is for computer equipment and is to come from the IT appropriation line. To Staples in the amount of $546.01. This is for clerk office supplies and is to come from that appropriation line. From the road fund to O'Reilly Automotive, this is for miscellaneous parts for parks and is to come from Parks Program Supplies and the Road Maintenance Repairs Equipment Appropriation lines.
What was the total?
I'm sorry.
What was the amount?
I don't have that. $885.82.
Is that all of the claims?
No, I've still got a couple more.
I'm sorry.
Okay, John Deere Financial, which is the financial institution for Rural King and/or Wright Implement. That amount is $2,572.86. This is for miscellaneous supplies, and the majority coming from the Maintenance Repairs Equipment Appropriation line. From the jail fund to the Detention Center Canteen Fund, $8,052.42. This is reimbursing the canteen fund for an inmate's catastrophic medical bills, which was originally originally paid from the canteen fund and should have been paid from the jail fund that is maintained in the treasurer's office.
Move
That's
we
it.
accept the claims.
We went over the other claims yesterday, so I'd make a motion to approve the claims.
I would second it.
Can I say one thing, Judge, about that reservation? I want to explain that a little bit. The 2-room reservations that I made, I'm on the Friends and Family with Hilton, which is was cheaper than the actual conference rate that we had. The Hilton, you could stay at either one, so I did the Hilton and actually saved some money, but I had to do 2. I did Tim's and mine. So that's why that's on there like
Good.
that.
Saving some money. This was at the CAECO conference.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Question.
Heard the claims. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any old business?
I'd just like to say I'd like to see us get those easements put together at some point in time. I've got 2 more meetings. Just want to be sure that we get it done some point in time so we can get those things on the GIS map. I know a lot of the magistrates have areas, and I'm sure our engineer has areas they'd like to widen a little bit or do stuff to. You can't do them without the easements. I know a lot of people don't understand that. They just think you all can magically shake a wand and widen the road or put some extra property between the road and the ditch. It can't happen. So just like to see that get done.
This is a work in progress, correct?
Yes.
Well, I think what the challenge now is how do you go about it? You know, I mean, and what does that look like in cost, and who does it? And there's still a lot of questions.
It shouldn't cost anything.
Yeah.
You get the easements. I mean, it's going to cost you recording fees, and hopefully we'll record these things because as Kurt knows, there's a bunch of them. They never got recorded. I mean, I know the one on Wilson Station my family gave the county back in the 80s or 90s didn't get recorded. The one on that we gave on Kings Mill Road never got recorded.
Does that require a lot of research, though?
No. I mean, just you got to look up the source of title is all you got. You know who they are. You go to the PVA office, and almost all of them are just on the PVA's tax card, and you can get that. PVA will give you access to all that information online if you want it, so it's not all that hard to do.
Moving forward is just a matter of setting up the right process and making sure that it does get recorded. Now, the going backwards for the ones that have already been recorded or the ones that were not recorded could be, that's where it could take hours and hours for people to research.
And after my term is over, I will be happy to donate some time to do some of this. I'm serious.
Sold.
Okay. I mean, I am. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I mean, you know, and I'd be happy to do that and work with us getting that done. But it's for the county. That's what we're here for.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, I have 2 attorneys sitting here, but I think if we get a standard sheet, and I go to, John Blue calls me and he wants this done, and I need an easement to get it done, and I pull that standard sheet out and say, if you give me this easement,
I'll get her done.
we'll get her done. And at that point, we have the easement.
Right.
If he signs that paper. I think it's that simple.
Once it gets recorded, as
Right.
long as it's a recordable document. And that's we're
Right.
working on that. Magistrate McCollum had
And
a
it'll
great
take a
point
little
on that.
education of all the magistrates, you know, because a lot of people think, well, just because the land is in the man's name or he inherited it, you got to get the wife's signature too. I mean,
Right.
it's a few things like that, and how to look up the source of title. It's not complicated, but we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of setting up a good process
Yeah.
and making sure everybody's clear how to
But
get
it will
actually
pay
recorded.
dividends in the future. It's
Oh,
probably
absolutely.
it's going to take a long time, but it'll pay dividends in the future.
Okay, next, Brent Jacobs looked into costs and efficiencies around our generator service agreements. So, Brent, you want to give us the results?
Yeah, I called Hostel Diesel. Is that? They don't really offer service plans. He recommended an annual service or one service every 3 years. Considering how vital this generator is over there, my recommendation would be to keep it with Cummins. They service all the generators in the county. They'll check it out every 6 months. give us a little peace of mind that that thing will keep running in case we lose power. And
I appreciate you checking with them.
Yeah.
They do my home, so I appreciate that. I'd make a motion to accept his recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ray.
now, as soon as Steve looks over that agreement, and we'll get it going. So, thanks.
To lead off, go to the county, I'm going to ask Sheriff Crafton to come up and talk to us about a grant opportunity he's got. It will require a resolution that you have in your packet.
Well, the grant is through the Law Enforcement Protection Program through the state of Kentucky, and it's going to be for new AR-15 rifles. They're going to be the same type as what Henderson Police Department had. We became familiar with their rifles and how they're set up when we did the active shooter training. And so what this will do, it'll replace some aging rifles that we have. They'll be more compact rifles. They're easier to use in a building, and another benefit will be that we have the same type of weaponry in addition to the training that we received as what Henderson Police Department does. So when we're responding to an active shooter situation, we're all trained to do the same thing. We're all equipped the same way. So that's the purpose behind it. The amount that we're asking for in the grant is about $10,000. It's going to involve a trade-in of our present rifles and some payment on our part of just under $4,000 for the peripheral equipment that's added to it, like the sighting systems and so forth.
These 223s?
Yes.
So you need $10,000 for a match or a...
No, this is just this is the grant that we're asking for from the state of Kentucky.
Oh, you're asking for $10,000.
More free money.
The $4,000 would come out of our line item for ammunition.
Gotcha.
Sheriff, I was looking at that application. Your current rifles are anywhere between 8 and 14 years old. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I think Corporal Willett had told me that there were some, or Lieutenant Willett, I'm sorry, some of the, there were starting to be some failures of some of that equipment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another reason, in addition to being on the same as the city, it's,
Right.
Making sure that it's.
And these are good quality. Sig Sauer is the brand. They're very good quality rifles.
Yeah, you can only run so many rounds through that barrel, and it'll start losing some accuracy. So that's
correct.
Yeah.
So we have this request, we have a resolution. Let me have the resolution read first.
Resolution authorizing the judge executive to make an application for and upon approval to enter into an agreement with the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by KOHS to facilitate and administer the Law Enforcement Protection Program grant for duty weapons and ammunition, or KPHS, to act as the authorized correspondent for this project and establishing a procurement procedure for any KOHS approved project for the FY 2022-2023 application cycle. Whereas Henderson County, Kentucky desires to make an application for the United States Department of Homeland Security and/or the Commonwealth of Kentucky funds for Law Enforcement Protection Program grant for duty weapons and ammunition for the Henderson County Sheriff's Office to be administered by the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security. Whereas it is recognized that an application for and approval of the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security funds impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court believes it is in the best interest of the citizens of Henderson County to adopt this resolution, now therefore be it resolved by the Fiscal Court of Henderson County, Commonwealth of Kentucky as follows. The Judge Executive is hereby authorized to execute and furnish all required documentation, including memorandum of agreement, as may be required by KOHS for the furtherance of the above referenced project, and to act as the authorized correspondent for said project. For the purpose of any KOHS funded projects using FY 2022-2023 funds, the county will use provisions of Chapter 4 of the Henderson County Administrative Code for the purchase of the equipment and/or services. For any equipment and/or services under $30,000, 3 quotes will be obtained. For any equipment or services that exceed $30,000, the provisions of Chapter 4 of the Henderson County Administrative Code will apply.
Make
Move
a
to
motion.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Hold on
Aye.
a second. On this total amount requested, it's right at 20,000. So are we getting, on the trade, are we getting the $10,000 in trade?
That's the total project amount, but, so the total project amount is $19,998. And then our rifles traded in will take $11,000 off
Okay.
of that.
That's, I didn't get to that. Oh, here we go. I didn't get that far yet. Thank you.
Thanks for asking, Tim.
Now, I'll add one thing. I've met with the incoming sheriff and reviewed this along with any other things that we're doing that would affect him when he comes in, and he's approved going ahead with this. So.
Thank you for working with him, too.
Sure.
So let me back that up. We do have a motion in a second. We had a question. Any other discussion? Let's take the vote again. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Got it.
Thank you.
We also finally have a resolution moving us forward on our health insurance contracts. Mr. Gold was able to get that done just before the meeting, I believe. Any other comment on that?
No, it's approved as form and legality. We were actually anticipating a few more agreements that we'd had before, an ASO, administrative services only, contracts and whatnot, but it appears as if for this year, all that is needed from Anthem was these two things that they sent us. One was a protected health information report request form that is supposed to be updated annually, and then they made some overall changes to their large group benefits, and those were attached and circulated around. And then there's the two summary of benefit sheets that they sent out, and those are attached to the resolution.
Any other questions about that before we read the resolution? So I'll have the clerk read it, please.
Resolution authorizing county judge executive to execute insurance contracts and approving plan benefits. Whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court provides various health insurance benefits to its employees through a self-funded insurance plan, and whereas Peel & Holland is a health insurance broker that provides benefits advisory services to the Fiscal Court, whereas the Fiscal Court, in consultation with Peel & Holland, deems it in the best interest of the Henderson County remain in its administrative-only relationship with Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated for the administration of Henderson County Employee Health Plan. Whereas Anthem is required to annually update certain agreements in order to maintain the policy and has made certain changes to this large group benefits for Kentucky. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Henderson County Fiscal Court hereby authorizes and directs County Judge Executive Brad Schneider to execute the attached contracts and agreements related to the administrative employee benefits. Anthem Protected Health Insurance and Report Request Form. The Fiscal Court also approves Anthem's large group benefit changes for Kentucky and the summary of benefits for the various Henderson County Fiscal Court plans which are attached hereto and incorporated herein. Furthermore, the County Judge Executive is hereby authorized to execute any and all other necessary and appropriate documents required to effectuate the intent and terms thereof.
Anna, any questions on the exciting and amazing world of health insurance? No. Me. I don't blame you.
So approved.
Any other
I told
questions
her
about
before
that?
the meeting, a lot of what we do fits in the category of boring but important.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Beth made a motion. I'll second it.
We have a motion by Master Moran, second by Master McCullum. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Anybody else for good of the county? I think Mr. Farmer wants to brief us on something.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm just strictly here today for an informational project we're working on to make you all aware as to what the coroner's office is doing and with some other organizations in town. Attorney Gold, myself, and all have been meeting with Cindy Weaver, which I don't know if all y'all know Cindy or not. Cindy is the head of a group called Infinite Hope. And what it has to do is suicide work and all. Whenever families have been affected by suicides in their family background and all, that this is a number that's been growing. And we hate to see it in the worst sort of way. I know the judge has been involved in some of the stuff with the group and all. We have been meeting with Cindy, and we've taken it on that, yes, this is something that needs to be done because we're seeing more of it every day, and we're the first contact people that families have to deal with and all like this. So, like I said, we've reviewed it. Mr. Gold recommended some changes to her paperwork and all, and group has done that. And what it is, whenever we go out on a call that has been a suicide, we get talking, the family always has a lot of questions if it's something they're not expecting. They have put together a packet and all with information about being able to find counseling if there's been a large mess made at a scene, about cleaning it up, recommendations of people that can help them do the bit about a funeral home or a crematorium and all. I guess it's not us recommending anybody, it's us offering this and telling the people to get a hold of this group, that there's a 24-hour line that can be available. And like I said, our people have been meeting with it. It's one of these things that we felt needed to be done. I wanted to come tell you all about it in case anybody ever asks and all. And like I said, it's no expense, no liability to the county and all per se. It's just us passing out some information to the families and all. And this is more of community education of what we're doing, and that's what we want to see about doing. These are terrible things, and like I said, the sheriff can tell you the number of suicides and all we're seeing. It's been climbing up, especially drug overdoses and all. So we're kind of going from there. Just like I said, I just wanted to make you all aware of what we are doing and all. If anybody's got any questions, I will try to answer them as best I can. I'm not the world's greatest at this. Cindy's unfortunately on her way to Austin, Texas for family Thanksgiving, or else she'd be here with us. So you all basically understand what we're looking at doing.
Sounds good. It's
Just
a good
to-
organization.
Just to clarify what Mr. Farmer said, he had indicated that I'd asked for some changes in the information. I do not represent Infinite Hope, nor do I give them legal advice. Mr. Farmer wanted me to take a look at it.
Yeah.
There was one sheet in there where, and there's a lot of information, there's one sheet that Mr. Weaver had put together about some estate tax issues, and given that those numbers always change over the years, I just suggested that they put in there that it was current as of the current, whatever the date was that it was printed, because Washington tends to change laws.
I think they're supposed
all
to
the time
change
on
in
that.
2025.
Exactly.
And
So what I
yeah.
just wanted them to put that on there. Coroner had asked me to take a look at that, but other than that, the information was fantastic, and I think going to be very helpful to people going through some very, very difficult times.
What's the name of the organization?
Infinite Hope.
Infinite Hope. And they have been around for a while. The old Gleaner office on Clutie Park is like where they have meetings and all. They said you'd been out there for something they had there, and they make recommendations and all, and they offer help is what it is, and at no cost to the families with what they do. Now, there are some of the services that they recommend that the families need to talk to the people about what a cost is, but they don't charge anything for their services. And like I said, they are trying to get a good. They've tried billboards, they've tried everything, and they came to us and asked us, said this seems to be the most appropriate way, and all, and it adds a little more to my people, but everybody's agreed to do it and see what we can do, because it's something to help the families in the community. That's what we want to do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else for good of the county? With that, we'll go around the horn. As it were, we'll start over here with Magistrate McCullough.
All my roads are in perfect shape. Sorry. And everything's good in the 5th District. Thank you.
Magistrate Barrett.
Thank you, Judge. I wanted to congratulate Anna for being here with us and her family. I know her family and know they're proud of her. She gets to go to who are you having lunch with, Anna?
Magistrate Southern.
Oh boy, hey, he's got it.
Big spender, too.
That's
Big
right, he
spender,
is. You
yeah.
eat plenty and eat 2 desserts, because he'll take care of you. I'm telling you right now. But we're glad to have you. Thank you. It's your day. Your day. Cairo's a great school. Nick, thank you for the blacktop work we've got done. My roads wasn't in all that good shape as yours, so we had to do a little work. But that's been done, so I appreciate that, Nick. Good job. See Bill Stevens back there. Good to see you, Bill. Everybody, and I think that's all I got. District 1's in good shape, I think. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Gold.
I was also going to welcome Magistrate-elect Stephen Stark. So that good to have him here with us, getting a head start. Anna, congratulations. It's been great having you up here as my wing person. I know I've known you and your family since you were a little bitty, and I've had the pleasure to watch you grow up and see all the great things that you're doing, and I know you're going to do a lot of great things in the future. So keep up the good work. Very, very proud of you, and I know your family's super proud of you, all of them. And it was great having grandparents here and everything, because they're awful proud of you, Chief. So everybody's proud of you. So it's your day that nobody else in the entire county can say that today was proclaimed for them. This is your day. It's a very big deal. Thanksgiving is coming up, and I'm very thankful to be able to serve the people of Henderson County and to work with this fiscal court and a group of people that work for Henderson County. It's something that is a blessing that I feel thankful for every day, and I thank the opportunity to work with each and every one of you. So have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Master Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Anna, congratulations. I know some of this is like watching paint dry, but I was looking at you, and it looked like you was pretty much in tune and following it. Sometimes you heard me re-question Ms. Strong about a question. Somehow that slipped by me that she had already addressed, I'm assuming. But anyway, congratulations again. I know your family's terribly proud and by the support group you had here before. And that's just to you, that all that starts at home. And this is the results. And I know you'll do well going forward. And just to mention, the Salvation Army will be serving from 11 to 12:30. It's pickup only on Washington Street for Thanksgiving. We used to, you could just come in and say you need, in this kind, we don't serve in. We haven't for 3 years because of COVID. And I'm not quite sure why we didn't have to serve inside and eat inside this year. But anyway, they're limiting to people in the car. So if 4 people, 8 people come in, that's how many dinners you'll get. And Judge, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Squire-elect Bill Stevens in the back, congratulations. And everybody enjoy the Thanksgiving. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Master Moran.
Well, I too would like to congratulate And I've known her mother since she was a small child. And I am so proud of her and all that she's accomplished. And I just knew when I saw your name that you're going to follow in her footsteps. And I know you're wonderful already, and you will continue to keep up the good work, and I appreciate that. And I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving as well. Just I hope that spend time with your families and have a wonderful time. All's well in District 2.
Thank you. And Astrid Southern?
Well, congratulations again, but I think that's the coolest ponytail I've ever seen in my whole life. I was impressed. All's good in District 3.
Thank you. I will echo what everybody said about how special it is to have you today, and congratulations. And not only did you follow in your mother's footsteps, but also your father's. I want to make sure that he gets due recognition for that as well.
He's all right. He's all right.
You have a great family, and I've known in my time both at the Gleaner and in the things I've done since, your grandparents have been very supportive of me in many ways, and I really appreciate that. So having good, solid family around you is really important, and you're lucky that way, but they're also very, very proud of you, and they feel lucky too, I bet. So congratulations. And crush Talkaholics for us all when you go to lunch. Thanksgiving is coming up. Oh, I do want to say that I am thankful for the service of this fiscal court and our team. The last 4 years, it's been terrific, and we're going to have more chance to talk about that in the coming month. But I am very thankful for what we do and proud of what we do. And I think we have a lot to be proud of in the last 4 years. So, but again, we'll talk about it. That's more in December. I think that is it. Unless anybody else has anything more to say, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor can leave.